All right, welcome to the fifth installment on the Lady Death Nightstalker cover for Coffin Comics. I'm going to be using liquitex paints to create the highlight section, and you can see there the little green things that I'm holding that I like to put the paints and the water in for doing these highlights are actually water bottle lids. So a good way to recycle is look for small things around the house that you can use for other uses, especially artistic uses, and so water bottle lids make a fantastic, small, easily handheld palette for using with acrylics or oils, whatever you like, and you get a little more life out of them before you throw them away, and if they get all gunky and built up, well, then they can finally go in the trash. Anyway, in this final segment, you can see me crisping up and adding a more opaque white to not only her hair, which is obviously white for being Lady Death, but even in her skin tones and things like that. I'll water down the paint, almost use it like you would a watercolor, but because it has the opacity, you can see me building up a nice volume in those hair folds and the tendrils, and make the areas that are closest to the viewer the whitest things. So a white object will always appear closer to you. It will appear more white. So keep that in mind. A black object will get grayer as it gets farther away from you and darker, and a white object will get whiter the closer it is to you. So you can see that the working in the staff area, shoulder, the blade here of the sickle, that everything just gets more detailed. Any overspray that I want to eliminate, because I haven't used any masking other than just handheld shields, I'm just continuing to build up and add those final details, bringing it more into clarity and just a higher resolution, if you will, on the final illustration, because with comic art it's obviously printed very high detail, and I'm known as a more detailed type of illustrator, and so I'm not going for a painterly, loose kind of look. I strive for a very detailed illustration with a lot of pop, and although I'm not trying to make it photorealistic, I still want it to look like a piece of art that will appeal to the comic audience. I do want it to have the kind of eye appeal and detail that my fans have come to know and love. So hopefully I've achieved that in this illustration, and for those who have followed along in all five of the segments, you've learned a bit about along the way. So there'll be more to come in following segments, but here's a slow pan close-up of when all the final details were done. I even added some red in the last layers and some gold to make her jewelry kind of pop out a little bit more, and it just gives the illustration a little more diversity. So thanks again for following along, and subscribe now. Thanks a lot. Bye.